written in a reflective, evocative style. The original piece could be a brief poetic thought or feeling, and I will now elaborate and expand upon it into a full narrative with emotional depth, exploring themes of commitment, hope, and love. In the quiet of the night, when the world sleeps and the stars whisper their ancient tales, there is a promise that stirs within the silence. A promise delicate yet resolute, carried in the depths of my gaze. It's not spoken, nor is it shouted from the rooftops of my mind. It lives between the fleeting moments when words are too fragile to contain the enormity of feeling, when silence becomes a language in itself. It rests in my eyes, where the heart's language is most eloquent, where the truth is often revealed in a glance, and the future is etched in the sparkle of unwavering conviction. Every morning when I wake, the promise begins to unfold like the delicate petals of a flower, slow and steady, inviting the sun's warmth to grow stronger. The promise in my eyes isn't just a fleeting idea or a half-formed dream, it is the foundation of everything I've come to believe in, a declaration etched in the way I look at the world and at you. It is a seal and vow that rests not in the words I speak, but in the depth of every glance, every soft moment of connection. There's a power in such unspoken vows. They are the kind that carries the weight of years and the strength of commitment, woven into every fleeting second we share. There's a tenderness in this promise, but also a strength, a quiet kind of strength that doesn't shout or demand attention, but simply exists. It exists in the way my eyes soften when they meet yours, in the quiet moments when our breaths synchronize, when everything around us falls away, leaving only the two of us, locked in this delicate bond. It's a promise of loyalty, of standing side by side through the uncertain, unpredictable tides of life. It is not a promise that assumes everything will be easy. No, this promise knows the truth that love, like any great force, has its storms. It has its moments of doubt, its moments of pain, but the promise in my eyes is that we will navigate them together, hand in hand. And even when the storm clouds gather and the winds begin to howl, the promise remains undisturbed, like the quiet cloud standing firm against the battering waves. My eyes, though filled with concern, will still offer you the reassurance of it's the kind of promise that grows stronger when tested, when the world seems to turn its back and we stand at the edge of uncertainty. It is an unshakable conviction that I will be here, no matter the circumstances, no matter the hurdles, no matter how many times we are knocked down. But it is not a promise made lightly. It comes from a place deep within, born from the very essence of who I am. The eyes, they are the windows to the soul, as the old saying goes, and through them I reveal the truest part of myself, the part that believes in something greater than the fleeting nature of our daily struggles. Through these eyes, you see not just the surface, but the depth of my hopes and dreams, the foundation of my fears and vulnerabilities. Through them, you see my heart, its cracks, its scars, but also its unyielding desire to trust and to love. There was a time I remember when my heart hesitated, when it looked at the future with uncertainty, unsure of what it might hold. I remember the days when I doubted my own capacity to keep such a promise, when the weight of the world seemed too heavy for my shoulders to bear. But even then, there was something in my eyes, a flicker of hope, a glimmer of possibility. Even in the darkness, even in the moments of fear and hesitation, I knew there was a promise awaiting to be fulfilled, something that would carry me forward. And then I met you. It wasn't an earth-shattering moment, no grand gestures or overwhelming fireworks. It was simple, so simple in fact that it was almost easy to overlook. It began with a glance, a shared smile, a moment of recognition. And yet, in that instant I knew, the promise I had carried within me all this time found its home. It found its purpose in you, in the way you looked at me, with kindness, with understanding, with a patience that I had long since forgotten existed. In the way you saw through the surface to the very core of who I am, accepting both the light and the shadows that make me whole. In the way you didn't try to change me, but embraced me as I was, and in doing so, you became a reflection of everything I had ever hoped for. The promise in my eyes became more than just a vague notion of what could be. It became a tangible reality. It grew, it expanded, rooted deeply in the soil of our shared experiences, watered by the tears of laughter and pain, strengthened by every hand held, every word spoken, every silent moment shared between us. It is no longer as many, it is us. We are the keepers of this promise together. And yet, I realize now that this promise is not just about standing beside each other through the difficult times, though that is certainly a part of it. It is about growth, about becoming more than we ever were individually. It is about the constant, unspoken commitment to evolve together, to face each day not as two separate people, but as two souls entwined, working in harmony to build something greater. This promise, while grounded in loyalty, is also one of encouragement. It is a promise to challenge each other, to push each other to be better, not out of criticism, but from a place of love and belief in the potential we both carry within us. It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves, both individually and as a couple, knowing that together we are stronger. I remember the first time you told me you loved me. It wasn't a grand declaration. It wasn't a proclamation made in front of an audience, nor was it adorned with fireworks or flourishes. It was quite soft even, but it was in your eyes that I saw the weight of your words. I saw the promise in them, the same one that had lived in mine, waiting to be shared. In that moment, I realized that our promises were not just spoken, but lived. They were in the way we cared for one another when the world seemed to turn cold, in the way we held space for each other's pain, in the way we celebrated even the smallest victories. And now, even as time continues its march forward, the promise still holds. It holds in every glance we share, in every smile that passes between us, in every moment we spend side by side. It holds in the quiet of the mornings when we wake up to each other's faces, and in the stillness of the nights when we drift off to sleep, comforted by the knowledge that we are not alone. It holds when we face the challenges that life brings, and it holds when we celebrate the joys, knowing that the journey is made sweeter when walked together. So let it be known there is a promise in my eyes. It is a promise that transcends words, that survives even the harshest storms and the darkest nights. It is a promise that is not bound by time or circumstance, but lives eternally in the space between us. It is a promise that will carry us through the years, no matter what comes our way. It is a promise that I will keep, not because I must, but because I want to. It is a promise to love, to honor, and to cherish you in this moment and in every moment to come. It is a promise that resides in my eyes, and it is yours forever. I hope this expansion resonates with the sentiments you were aiming for.